Hi everyone. I know you must be excited about trying out the new MacBook Pro, MacBook Air, Mac Mini. I wanted to purchase all of them and I actually ordered Mac Mini because I already have a MacBook Pro, but I cancelled it. I'll tell you the reason why I purchased it and why I cancelled it. I was really excited after seeing all the claims Apple made. Let's talk about numbers first. So they're using their new M1 chip, and from their Mac Mini to MacBook Pro, they are claiming up to 3.5 times faster CPU performance than their last generation. Up to 6 times faster GPU performance from their last generation integrated graphic Intel Iris, and 16 times more powerful ML performance. The battery life is a huge improvement this time, and this time you'll see MacBook Pro surpassing the MacBook Air in battery life because their new technology 5nm, which they're using in A14 as well. So that is going to be very power efficient. And the people who don't know, they tested all these things on their 16GB RAM and 2TB version. For MacBook Pro, they used Intel i7 quad-core with 1.7 GHz. With Air, they used quad-core i7 with 1.2 GHz. And for Mac Mini, they used Intel i3. You can read all of that at the end of the product pages. One thing you need to note, these tests are just run on the best case scenarios. Like one of the tests related to GPU was done on a 10-second project. But in real life, their numbers might not result the same. On paper, these are basically the most powerful laptop for their price range, and I believe that because even iPads are so powerful and they're much powerful than a lot of PCs out there. But the problem with iPad is going to be an issue here as well. See, software plays a huge part, and if you can't use the software you want, it's probably of no use. You need a lot of software on your system. You might not even realize it right now. This is a fairly new chip, so your basic softwares might not run as fast or as smoothly as you think. They will use their new technology called Rosetta 2, and it's basically a translation process which is going to translate your Intel-based application to their new M1 chip. This is a new architecture, so there will be a very few applications that are completely optimized for that. If you use only Apple-related softwares like Final Cut Pro, iMovie, or as basic as Safari, you're good to go. But if you want to use some other software, they might not be available as soon as you think. And the transition process might take years, so these things might not be useful as of right now. And I think these systems are available for creative people, like for photo editing and video editing. But if you're a software developer like me, or if you want to use Microsoft Office or a basic application like Chrome, and anything that is not related to Apple might not be available for you right now, and they might not give you the performance you want. But there's one upside to this M1 chip, that you can use your iPadOS application and iOS application on your MacBook directly. There will be a lot of drivers that might not be optimized for this M1 chip as well, like for your printer or some accessory that use drivers. And if you want to use your Adobe Suite or Photoshop, you might have to wait for next year. I know you guys were waiting for the new MacBooks, especially the Air, because it's with no air. I know, I'm sorry, that was a bad one. So when they announced that the MacBook Air does not have a cooling system or a fan, I was like, whoa, it is kind of cool. Although the MacBook Pro and Mac Mini has the new cooling system, and I think you should wait and let someone else test the thermals first before ordering a MacBook Air. Like I said, all of those tests were done on a very small scale, and the chip can still heat up and decrease the performance. So if you want your MacBook Air just for browsing and media consumption, why not iPad? It will give you reliable performance right now. Because the only thing I miss on my iPad is the ability to execute code. But that's not it. With their own chip, it gives them more control. So with their M1 chip, everything is in the single chip. Even the RAM is fixed, and that is not user replaceable. So if you want to upgrade your RAM, you have to tell it before placing the order. And for that, if you want to upgrade from 8GB to 16GB, you have to shed $200 in US, and in India, it's like 20,000 rupees. And there are only two Thunderbolt 4 ports on all of these three devices. So if you want more ports, you have to wait a second generation, and that might come with a more powerful chip. So I ordered Mac Mini just to do video editing because my MacBook Pro is not very great with Final Cut Pro, even it's a quad-core CPU. So I thought the performance will be great. I ordered a 8GB RAM version, but later I realized I might need 16GB RAM, and that was very expensive. So I had to cancel it because it's just going to sit there and just for video editing, and that I can do with my iPad as well. I would suggest to sleep on it like I did and wait for it to mature for software support. I know it's a powerful system, or Apple is saying, because no one has tested it yet. And it is a future, but let's leave it for future right now. See, if you have some extra cash and you just want these machines to test it out, go ahead. But if you want to rely on them, don't. Do let me know what you think about the latest Mac. I'm really excited for them and I hope they will bring PC level gaming on MacBooks as well. I like technology, and if you do too, please subscribe to my channel. My name is Rohit. I'll see you in the next one. Till then.